Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tom Squalo, and in this video let's talk about some really interesting stuff and for the trade that I'm finally gearing up for, and I'm probably gonna take it very soon. So I wanted to really share it with you, and everything that I've been talking about in the last videos is seemingly coming to fruition. So we're gonna talk about price targets, some technical analysis and the entry points, stop losses, etc. And also going to talk about some very important news that are coming out right now, something that has come out yesterday and today, something that you should keep an eye on if you're into cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, etc. And as always, if you're brand new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and also hit that notification bell so that you're always notified when I make a new upload. And as always, there is a link to my free Telegram channel down in the description of this video so that you're always notified when I make a new upload. And also, I oftentimes post some cool trade ideas separately from YouTube there as well. So join it right now and let's get right to it. Okay. So, and guys, by the way, guys and girls, I would really appreciate it if you could share this video. There is a share button below the video. First, number one, like the video, very much appreciate it as always. And there is a share button below the video that you can actually use to share it on your social media so that we keep the world educated and we make some noise for the algorithm so that we grow as a channel and as a Crollo YouTube family together. And only if you feel like doing so would be very much appreciated. Okay, first, before we talk about price targets and all the levels and all this stuff that is about to erupt, let's talk about some of the interesting things happening in the world right now. Like first of all, that Bitcoin is actually currently being heavily accumulated as number of 10,000 Bitcoin addresses source. So we are currently seeing a huge number of people actually with a huge Bitcoin holdings, so all the billionaires, so to speak, and multi-millionaires actually accumulating Bitcoin right now. So this is a very bullish sign, and this is actually the graph right here, which was posted initially by Glassnode Alerts. And so here what it says: whales have been buying Bitcoin actively as wallets holding from 10 to 10,000 Bitcoin have surged in number in past 2 weeks. So this is absolutely incredible. And as for addresses that contain 10,000 Bitcoin more, their amount has increased since February this year. So while everything is going down and a lot of all the small weekends are shaken off and they sell at a loss, the big boys are in the shadows actually buying. So this is really cool. Okay, the next thing I really wanted to mention was that the Bank of Russia accelerated the schedule for digital ruble project. So they really want to accelerate it in a way of, potentially avoiding sanctions, and to actually, create their, avoid this issue with the SWIFT, because we all know because of the conflict in Ukraine, the SWIFT actually turned off. It was switched off in Russia, so they cannot use SWIFT transactions. So this is the reason why they're accelerating the CBDCs and their digital ruble, which, a lot of people have been saying that, well, this is the death of crypto. Remember, guys and girls, the digital currencies of any government, they're still centralized. So they are by default don't have the same characteristics as cryptocurrencies, as in of transparency and friendliness of use and decentralization. So they have completely different characteristics. So therefore, CBDCs or digital currencies that the governments are going to create, and they will probably create them, even the United States will probably create the digital dollar, but it's not going to be a threat to Bitcoin like at all, because nobody's going to be buying those currencies as investments, and it's something that is not controlled by the government. So therefore, true financial freedom and the true definition of proprietary rights. So I wouldn't be worried about this at all. Okay, one last thing, and this is something that is going to lead us into talking about all the technicals and the trade that I'm going to be taking in just a second. And by the way, quick Bybit and BitGet shill. If you guys want up to $9,100 in free bonuses on top of your initial deposits, then down in the description of this video or in the pinned comment, you'll find links to both Bybit as well as BitGet that you can use to sign up and create an account to prepare for all these amazing trades that are coming. And also with BitGet, there is awesome copy trading thing that I'm going to keep you updated about, because it's making pretty good money. I mean, it's pretty decent, so you don't really have to do anything. You just basically go to copy trading, and I'm going to link the tutorial somewhere up here. You can watch this tutorial on how to use copy trading properly in a safe way, and you can just trust your money to other traders, or I should say just make the system copy the trades of the traders that you select, and you don't really have to do anything. And I tried it and it actually works. So check out the tutorial and all the links with all the awesome deposit bonuses to BitGet and Bybit, as always, down in the description as well as in the pinned comment. So more trouble for Bitcoin, and this is going to lead us into the targets and all the trades I'm going to be taking. More trouble for Bitcoin in coming days, and the analyst issues a warning, blah, blah, blah. And even though, we see a lot of accumulation from whales, etc., and all the on-chain data is telling us that, we are at the bottom, and this is what I've told you before, that I still personally think, in my humble opinion, not a financial advice, I can be wrong, that we will potentially see another leg down. And also it says here that many altcoins, in the estimation of this analyst, are on a bearish parabola. When broken parabolas result in significant adjustments, though they haven't ended yet. The parabolas are almost over. And in this article, he's actually saying that the bottom is almost in. So, and this is what I'm thinking as well, that potentially for Bitcoin, if we're going to go to this bigger time frame, I think that the bottom could be, let's go back to this one. Let's switch to weekly. And as I mentioned to you before, remember, this is the previous Bitcoin cycle right here. And I'm thinking that this is some kind of a bull trap, and a lot of people are going to get liquidated in this instance, in my personal opinion, I think. And then we're going to bottom out finally between 14,000 and 20,000, or in the worst case scenario, if we're going to see more cascading liquidations and maybe miners capitulating even more, because remember, miners actually holding a lot of Bitcoin, like 800,000 Bitcoin in total all over the world. So it's not very likely that they're going to liquidate at the same time. It's impossible, but still, nonetheless, we have to pay attention to those. And the worst case scenario, I would say, from anywhere from 10 to 14 $1,000. So let's quickly talk about the trades that are happening. Let's go to smaller time frame, and we are seeing this small relief right here, all the way from 17K up to like 21,500. And as I told you before, that it's moving along, but it's not really powerful, because oftentimes when we have capitulation events, the price moves off really fast in a V shape. And this one is quite so. I mean, again, not financial advice. It can move higher, obviously, but what we have to talk about is probabilities. So from the probabilities standpoint, let's take a look at a smaller chart right here. What we're currently seeing was that we had a very important support, this yellow one that I mentioned to you yesterday, and we were squeezing it, and finally yesterday we actually broke it. And if we're going to take a look at the volume, that we're going to certainly see in the 1 hour chart, we're going to certainly see a small increase in volume, even though it just didn't lead to anything. And overall, the volume is still going down. So this is what I also mentioned to you in quite a few other videos, that I'm also one of the scenarios, and I told you this when we were here, that we're going to see, if we're going to go to the daily chart, we're going to see a side move-ish activity. And this is what we were seeing so far. Because remember, the big catalyst event, the CPE data, is coming out on the 30th of June. So that could be also an interesting catalyst event, or the approval or disapproval, which I mentioned in the previous video. So check it out if you haven't seen it. The approval or disapproval of Grayscale's spot Bitcoin ETF, which there has to be a resolution and an answer from SEC by June the 6th. So we really have a few days, and that these are going to be the catalyst events. But nonetheless, so if we're going to go to this chart, 1 hour chart, then we broke below. Not really that very much volume, some, but really nothing of interest. Then we retested it again right here, and let's go back. So we retested it right here with this interesting pushback that we've seen, but we're still consolidating right here, and we've shaped this kind of an interesting technical formation. So there are two scenarios in this instance that you can trade, and one of them is more probable than the other, in my personal, honest, humble opinion. So call me Mr. Spot On. So far this year, we've made very good money. Not every trade was a profit, obviously, because no trader actually has 100% accuracy rate, maybe like 50%, 60, 40%, which is still fine, because we're never taking less than 3-to-1 take profit to stop loss ratio. So overall, we've made crazy money, because some of our trades were like 10-to-1, 15-to-1. So, and you're welcome. So in this instance, what I'm currently considering, that this is a textbook retest right now, and some kind of prolonged small consolidation in a smaller time frame. So break, retest, consolidation, and then potentially a breakdown. And this is what I'm actually anticipating to take. If we're going to have some volume here, and if we're going to break below, and in either 15-minute chart or 1 hour, we're going to close below here, in this instance, below this support in this tiny wedge, this is where I'm going to take a short trade, and I'm going to run it up to, let's take a look at the price targets. I think that the first take profit could be somewhere in the vicinity of 20,500, simply because this used to be our resistance right here, and it could turn into a support, and it could certainly turn the price. So this could be our first take profit around 20,500. Next one could be around 20k sell, because remember 20k is a very important level in of itself. And then you can take the other part of the profit at about 19,632, which has 640, which is our previous all-time high. And then lastly, I would not try to run it lower than $18,000, and this has been our historic very important level from the weekly chart I've showed you before. So this is what I'm taking. Now when it comes to the stop loss, you have to understand that the actual point that would disqualify this whole trade, and the point of no return where I would just leave it, would be if we break down and if you take it short from 21,320, for an instance, then my stop loss would be around 21,500 at the most. So in this way, we're going to risk about less than $200 per Bitcoin, and we would potentially want to take at least 1,000. So this would be a perfect 5-to-1, 6-to-1, or even 10-to-1, depending on how you spread your take profits on this trade. Now, so this is perfect, absolutely amazing opportunity right now. And I mean, is it smart to even take a short trade from here? Some people actually would start entering into short trades from here, but I prefer to see a break below. Now, the other option, the other, thing that we have to consider is a long trade, which I will not be taking it, because I'm standing by my previous thoughts and concepts and predictions that even if we're going to break above finally, even if we're going to see this continuation of this relief rally, there is so much resistance coming in. There is this resistance at 22,384 right here, which is probably going to turn the price very abruptly, because this is a 200 moving average from the weekly chart. And let me just put it on so you can actually see what it is. And that's it. You see it's coming in right here. It's coming in hot. So that's not the only reason why I wouldn't be taking this long trade, simply because our volume is really going down. And usually when the volume goes down so much, especially at the time of the breakout, as we were seeing the breakout out of this head and shoulders pattern that everybody's screaming about, usually maybe it moves up, but then it actually goes down really abruptly. So for that reason, I really want you to be super careful. But I also have to mention an interesting formation, that if we are going to break after all above, then I'm going to be looking for an even bigger short trade. And the best setup that I'm seeing for another leg down in Bitcoin would be from anywhere from $26,000, because this would be the insane resistance of this falling wedge that we've seen previously. And somewhere in this area, to build a nice short trade down to retest 20k would be absolutely insane and absolutely beautiful. And here I'm going to link a tutorial to Bybit if you want to be trading yourself on Bybit. A really great exchange, has been voted as one of the most transparent ones, the most transparent one in the world. Then here is a tutorial, check it out. And as always, stay smart, stay rich, make some noise down in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.